everybody. Welcome back. This is Molly. I am here. We're recording episode 4.25 of our wonderful program here. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition with, unfortunately, only three of my favorite people in the world. Isabel had to step out. We miss you, girly. You're so loved. And so when we last caught up with our heroes, they made their way across a short span of water to this island that had just kind of appeared out of thin air. And I believe it was Karis. You had just jumped up onto a ship to try to grab something.
I sure did. I don't remember what it was, but I definitely rolled a nat 20 on a perception check and decided to investigate.
All right, so you had heard the sounds of, as you arrived to the hold of the foreolis, you were able to bring it in after wrestling with the tentacles of a giant octopus. You were able to bring it in, and you heard some ribbiting and croaking underneath the ship. And I believe you went to step up, and you were looking for. My goodness, I don't know.
All I know is I'm not touching it. I don't like frogs. Well, I don't dislike them, but I don't love them either. And we weren't sure if it was a toad, and I don't want to touch it if it's a toad.
Toads get a bad rap, you know. They don't really cause warts.
The hold
it's not that. It's that they're like a little bit gross. They've been in blood-infested waters at this point, right?
Well, you're a little bit gross. Okay, when was the last time you showered?
Kind of this morning, actually. Yeah.
Was a very salty shower.
Are frogs?
Yeah, actually, it's good for your hair.
Gross.
So as you get kind of looking down into the hold of the ship, you see two big toads. It's like the largest you've ever seen. These are some real monsters. And then two smaller ones kind of making their home down there in the kind of moist underbelly of the foreolis. What would you like to do?
Should we move? Is there a place we should see on the map for this part?
So if you are you able to see currently?
Yeah, we see the front of the boat by the beachhead.
Yeah, and so I will put you, so like if you were to walk, I can't grab you. So like if you were to, I assume that you walked up here, and as you're looking down kind of through this portcullis, this area that you would enter through, you see the two giant frogs and the two little frogs.
Do I know what kind of frogs they are?
You would recognize them as F. Bibbly Dibbly and C. Pibbly Boobly. Kind of two more famous tropical species, not often recorded, but known to elven kind of zoologists.
Oh my god, you guys, that is an F. Fiddly Diddly. This is a rare experience. We are very fortunate.
Wait, what's diddling who?
Oh my god, and that's a C. Fiddly Whiddly. You guys, this is an amazing day.
Karis, what is she talking? Who's bibbling? What's bobbly? Are you diddling somebody's doodly?
Don't.
Odyssey is frantically sketching in his newly rescued notebook.
What are you suddenly drawing bibbles and dooble? What is happening?
And past the toads, you do see the caches that kind of were like the emergency supplies that you had that were set aside in the case of something like this happening. So you have
set
these
aside things for boobles and
like
doobles.
Someone's assigned them to guard the supplies.
Sorry. Are you saying the boobles are guarding the bubbles?
I'm actually out here. Oh no! Now you've got me using it. I don't know what they're guarding. Listen.
Odd is trying to sneak closer with like a scraping device, perhaps a stick or.
I'm somewhere in the middle of you. Just confused. Karis is over there. You're over there. I'm standing in the middle. I'm just gonna stand right here.
Okay.
Just stay right here.
Piece of driftwood.
So if you're trying to get a sample of a frog, I'm going to need you to make an animal handling check to convey that you are not a threat to this animal. How are you conveying that you're not a threat to this animal?
Probably starting with some soothing fibbledy-dibbledy croaks.
Okay. Any chance we can get an idea of what that might sound like?
Yeah, I think that natively it's like really deep, like a...
Molly, I think you need to decide if these are frogs or toads. You can't just keep going back and forth.
I am going to alternate flippantly with no real reason.
It's because they're frodes. They're frodes. They're wild frodes. They're
the most interesting thing about the fiddly diddly is that we have yet to determine whether they are actually frogs or toads.
Karis, I think Audrey's going to touch it. I think Audrey's going to touch it.
So you're saying scientists remain divided?
Scientists do remain divided. Rest in peace, Shania Twain. You see this like this kind of large this bulbous eye with like a small brown ring around it, just kind of, and the second
21,
lid
by the way,
down
for
over
animal
it.
handling.
Roll your animal handling check.
21.
Okay, you get nice up and close, and where are you going? You're going for one of the smaller ones or one of the bigger ones?
They're all. Oh no, they're two different species. Is it like one species is the bigger ones and one species is the smaller ones? I will probably be going for the rarer of the two.
Okay, so you're going for the big one. All right, so you get in and
you're getting the big diddle. Good
you're
job.
sort of like.
No, the diddle is the smaller ones.
So you're going for the booble. All right, I'm following.
The whittle, it's fine.
The whittle.
The quiddly quiddles, yeah.
The quiddly booble whittle?
Mm-hmm.
The booble whittle, canonically. Put it in the fan wiki that doesn't exist.
I feel like that's a
whittle that diddle. Whittle that diddle.
As opposed to the Rubel controversy that will never die?
Listen, those are... I care deeply about Tuple, and your disrespect of them continually is just hurtful.
I'm sorry. I should carry Tuple in my heart.
Tuple would have been a sweet addition to our.
I don't think he wanted to come. Is the thing. He was pretty excited to distance himself from whatever we were up to.
We didn't ask. I mean, we killed his kingpin.
He wanted to go and he wanted to go help his pet. That was eating his other pet.
Some goblins are born to follow. You know, it's just a way of life.
Sure. Yeah.
So you're able to get in, and you get this piece of driftwood, and I don't know where's the juiciest part of a frode to scrape.
The top, the very.
You're just gonna go for the top,
right along the.
Okay, make a dexterity check to see if you pop any of the warts.
Don't you know that toe top is a delicacy?
You're not supposed to be popping the tipple topple, all right? It's a little bit dangerous.
Just straight dex, 19.
All right, so you are able to kind of deftly, just lightly drag this piece of driftwood across the top of the stone as it's looking at you.
Got delicate hands, don't you? Yeah. Wasn't expecting that.
And now all four toads are just sort of looking. All four frodes.
She's stroking the frode. All right. So our Audie is not Karis.
Are now staring at you.
Yeah. I don't know how to take this. I'm not sure how I should feel about it.
He's just croaking comfortingly at them.
So.
Stroking the croak. All right.
All right. So. Now that you've got your sample, what's the plan?
Well, I figured I'd do some preliminary sketches, and then if I can get a little bit closer, I might internally inspect them.
You want to go in it?
I just want to check out the mouth area. You know, you never know.
Just the tip, right, Audrey?
The sample.
Why are you messing with the road?
The sample's not helpful at all in getting our stuff back.
Oh, no, this is not relevant to that at all.
Why did you stroke the frode then?
You reached
a rare opportunity for science.
Okay.
That was a scientific
We
stroke.
could be famous, you guys.
I am
Famous
going to.
for what? Stroking the throats?
Yeah. Do you know how many
Who's
people
here
have
to watch it? It's not like we're just sitting here with a crystal ball letting everybody watch you stroke the throat, are we?
Okay, well, I have paid for that subscription, so there's no need to be mean.
I'm very confused. I could be mean. This is confusion.
It's not that confusing. There's a wizard. She lives in a swamp. Sometimes she pets toads, and she films it and puts it on the crystal ball.
I mean, if you're into that, tipple topple, whatever diddle doddle you want to, it's not my jam.
It's super normal, okay?
Cares, make it stop. Make it stop.
Okay, really quick before I respond to that, Molly, I have 2 questions. First question: in what sort of containers is this supplies? Is it like backpacks, barrels?
You have like they're cash. They're like a wooden foot locker.
Okay.
They probably come about a foot off the ground. They're not. They have like a basic lock on it, but it's nothing that Aelin hasn't broken into. I mean,
a lock. That's great news. So my second question is, how far away are they from the window?
From the window to the wall, it's about skeet feet. It's about they're about 10, 15 feet off of the window or off of this kind of drop down.
Right, the drop down.
You forgot to talk about the sweat dropping down oddball. Just saying.
It's actually really tiring work. If you could just get that, it's running into my eye. You just mop that up for me.
Single drip.
All right.
Salty one lick.
So I think if I lean in all the way, I could potentially like lasso one of the caches by the lock, but you're gonna have to hold me so I don't fall in.
All right. So I hold you so you can't deep dive, but you need to be able to dive a little bit.
Okay. All right, hold the back of my clothes up here, and then slowly allow my body to fall forward this way, so that I can lean over it, and then use my ribbon.
I'm going to stand behind you and let you rear over in front of me.
All right, are you holding on?
I'm holding on.
And how does my body weight feel? Do you feel like you can hold this for a while?
I feel like the placement is quite satisfying for balance purposes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what if there's another, say, 20 pounds? Do you think you could still hold it?
With you right here, like this.
Like if
where
I
are you
was
going to
just
put the 20 pounds?
I'm going to be holding.
Put the 20 pounds.
I have to.
Well, okay. Well, let me spread my legs a little bit then. Hold on. Let me spread them.
Okay, get ready.
I'm braced. Sister.
All right.
All right. I got my legs spread. I got both my hands on your back, and you're bent over in front of me. It looks a bit like I'm about to go for a ride, but I guess that's what we're doing.
All right. All right. Here I go. I'm gonna try to retrieve one of the caches, one at a time.
Okay. So I'm gonna make this a skill challenge here.
Cool.
The first thing that you're gonna have to do is somehow, how are you gonna persuade these toads to not view you as a threat?
We did kind of do that. Or you mean me as separately? No, because I mean the sounds would be just as applicable to if we made the sounds a bit ago, right?
Okay. So you're gonna try to imitate the sound that Odd made?
I believe that's what Oddie is doing. I think.
Yeah. All right. So I lean over the pit, and then the frogs see me.
Yep.
And while they earlier they weren't spooked when they saw Odd and the stick. When they see me, well, this is kind of a weirder thing, so they start getting a little antsy again. Okay, Odd, wait, can you do that thing again, please?
All right. Make a persuasion check at advantage.
Me or
Dora.
Oh, okay, great.
It's an interesting side effect. I've never had anybody making that noise when I've been in this position with them before. Yeah, it's just it's a whole new world going on here. Usually it's like a little more pleasurable of a sound, but I suppose that's what we're going to do.
I'm going to roll
today.
persuasion.
I maybe also gonna like bob a little bit, trying to kind of
I'm not that
soothe
good
them
at this.
with a frog dance.
I feel like I read this in one of my
my
smutty novels once.
My total is 4.
Oh no!
So as you start to like lean over and they hear this croaking from outside, you see them kind of turn to you and like their demeanor shifts. They get froatily more hostile towards you. What do? They start to kind of shift gelatinously.
I raise my hands and very slowly reach for my knife and throw it across the room to distract them and make them go to that sound.
Whoa, what are you doing down there? You're shaking a little bit.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
Yes.
17.
All right, cool. So you whiz this knife around the mast that goes past through the hold of the ship and into kind of the absolute, what is it called, the bow of the ship, and it buries itself in. You see that the 4 of them sort of start to shift over.
Okay, so I'm gonna wait a sec while the frogs slowly like take their sweet time to scooch over there. Are you doing okay up there?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not usually in this position without things, but it's quite fine.
And Kendall will come over and say, "May Kindred be with you, and will cast guidance on this struggling Elan, because it looks like her muscles are very tight."
Yeah, well, I'm not always on top, I guess.
Tight.
Okay. All right. So you start to work your ribbon, and you're able to strike out here. The last check I'm gonna have done is as Karis starts to drag these trunks back in. I'm gonna need a strength check, just straight up. Or if you have athletics, you can do that.
For me?
For Grumblebee.
Grumblebee is going to do. All right, I need to do strength, or you said athletics.
Athletics.
All right. We probably
with guidance.
No, with guidance, which was a D4. D4. All right. Hey, let's see. Go roll the D4. D4 and a D20. It's going to be a subtracted number because I'm not very good at it. That's a good roll, though. All right, so overall, we've rolled an 18.
All right, so you struggle, and so as the first trunk comes up, you're able to hold tight as these ankles try to yank from you, but you keep it really close grip on Karis's legs, and the first
shove him into my body. Just got you.
Yep, you just all your body weight, everything to hold the lower body in place. And Kendall, I will help you with the trunk. Yes, and I put the trunk over here. And then the second one comes up, and you kind of, it catches you by surprise, and you, but Aelan gets back down.
I really need you to quit wiggling your diddling around down there.
And so, Kendall, I see that you have taken out the next one. I will put it over here for you. And
So
then
helpful today, Kendall.
what?
So helpful today,
So
Kendall.
helpful.
I am here. The giving spirit of kindred is just so present in me.
I feel like he's usually pretty helpful.
I am a very helpful man. Yes. Yes. I believe you have one more to get. And then so you're gonna make the last trunk. The first two felt a little bit lighter, and this one, as you wrap it around, you feel it. It's quite heavy. So I'm gonna need you both to make athletics checks.
Karis and Elin?
Yep.
Athletics checks.
All right.
Do I still have guidance?
No.
No, all right. I've rolled a 12.
22.
All right, so you pass that group check, and as you kind of the ribbon goes out and it kind of wraps around this chest side to side, and you're able to kind of get it hauled in. And your body starts to lurch forward, and you have to like really wrench your core muscles to get it up. And as you see, I see that you are getting the final one. That is so nice. As you get the final one, your feet slip out of Aylin's grasp. But you're able to dig. You're able to dig your feet into the deck and bring this last thing up, and kind of like this Herculean.
Sorry.
I
Slippery one. You're super slippy. It might be the frog juice. Sorry.
You
Sorry.
guys are doing a great job.
Well, this has gone swimmingly. I cannot say how much nice this has gone. Yes, Kindred
I can
has
say how
been
much
with
nice
us.
it's gone.
Yes.
Kindred was not with me.
Karis gives Elin a dark look and just like turns away to start seeing what's in there.
What is that? It's not. You were the one who was wiggling.
So, the first one has a cache of health potions. There is going to be one per person in the first cache. So I will add that to
Health potions for everyone.
their
Well, it looks like I'm going to need it
sheet.
with the dirty staring that Karis keeps giving me.
And if you keep talking badly about Kindred, I do not know how long his energy will provide for you.
It probably will provide nothing, and he will just leave me alone. But I don't think that's probably how that works.
This I doubt.
I really don't. Really don't.
Health potion, yes. Okay, da. This is wunderbar. So yeah, and then next up, you're able to jimmy open the second one, just a quick strike of the butt of a hand crossbow, and you find inside of it. You're like bedrolls and adventuring stuff, and probably about 50 feet of rope per each person. So kind of stuff that you would need to make a camp and anything that to survive in this space, kind of like your general survival goods. And
it's like a little explorer pack in here.
And the last one that was so heavy, you open it up, and inset within it, it's kind of got this heavy metallic, my gosh, what's the thing in a jewelry box when you open it up and there's like the velvety thing that the the jewelry sits in? What is that bit called?
It's not a setting.
You described it well.
Okay, but there's that, but in the center there's a jewel there, and you can see as you start to look at it, like the hands that helped you on deck kind of like appear through a mist in the gem.
Oi!
Oh, it's your friends.
They're inside it. No, we're floating it. They're mist. They're in a. How does this work?
And so, whoever wants to mark that down, cloudy hand gem. I will, as soon as you take a short rest, you'll be able to identify it.
My eyes like quickly turn at the sparkles and I like grab the gem to hold. Do the hands go away when I take it out of its place?
Nope.
Cool.
What was that? You stole the gem.
I stole it. It's right here.
But you just snatched it. You could have just asked.
And so you find in the packs, everybody will find 15 gold each. Just a good thing to keep track of.
Do you want the coins too, Garrus? Should I just put them for you? Or are you going to snatch that too?
I'm not going to snatch anything. Never mind.
Just say that's what you did. If you want it, you can have it.
And so as you spend a little bit of time looking around kind of the flotsam that has spread across this area of the beach, you'll find a sufficient restock for your crossbow bolts. If you were worried about that, you're able to kind of fish up some ones that were stuck there. Unskendo, he looks around for a long time and he finds the symbol that was that he had attached to the mast when they started the trip, and he takes it and he puts it in his bag, and it is good. Yeah.
I've got more ammo, so that's good. Got more things to shoot with. Don't have to make more.
And so as you start to look around the clearing, you notice it's the jungle is almost matted. It seems like the ferns kind of weave in with the vines, and it makes this thick brush. You do see a set of footprints leading off into this mess in front of you.
What kind of footprints? They look like boots. They look like feet. They look like claws.
Yeah, you can make a survival check.
Survival. It's gonna be a total of survival. 19.
Okay, so you're able to kind of suss out that these are some kind of humanoid footprints. They seem to be changing. Like if you were to follow the path a little bit, they seem to change shape every 10 or 15 feet.
Oddie, I've got some footprints over here. Look, I thought it was just humans. But if you look at this one, and then look at the one right after it, and then the one a couple steps forward after that, they're not the same size, but it's all the same. They're all the same gait.
Yeah, no, I do see what you're saying. That is fascinating.
Is that like an animal and not a human? That just like an animal that I guess wears boots? I don't know. Why?
I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
Are they? I'm going to lift up my own foot, a little bit flexible here, and look at my own bottom of my boot. It don't look like the same tread.
What are they?
Maybe
can we tell? Like, what are they changing
issue?
between? Is it like a humanoid foot to? Like,
so if you walk about 100 feet, you'll see it go from sort of like a standard boot, and then it'll be a mergoblin foot, and then it'll be like this giant sized foot, and then it'll alternate back to like a claw, like maybe if you've seen an Aarakocra before, a claw kind of moving along, and it seems to rotate through all of these different shapes. And after about 1,000 yards into the jungle, you lose it among the kind of tangle.
Just one set.
It's one set.
You only see the one set. Yeah.
It's only one set. Just a bunch of different footprints in the same set. It's not a military issue boot either.
Well, it's either a very funny prank, or we might have a shapeshifter afoot. Get it? Because they're prints.
I got I was there all day. I got you.
This was
Good job,
many funny
Audrey.
joke.
Oh, very funny.
It took
Many
me a
funny.
second. I was really on the the other part, the shapeshifter, and then you said a foot, and
I just got you. I just got you.
I liked it. It was a good one.
And so
Anyone up for
these footprints are heading south. You have the tall volcano, and so south and wrapping around the island as they start to go. You know that the pillar of smoke was kind of on the south side of the island, but on the other side of the mountain. And the mountain is sort of due east of you in the mangrove, as you understand your position now.
So I'm sorry, the footprints were heading towards the burning fire pillar or whatever.
We're heading down to the thicker pillar of smoke.
Okay.
But you know that the volcano itself is about is due east of where you are.
Can I ask a question about this island?
Yeah.
So we crossed from another nearby island just now, right?
Yep.
And the one that we were on before was on our maps, and we saw
Yes.
it when we were sailing. But this one is not on our maps, and we also sailed past the other island, the one that we did know about. And last time we sailed past it, there wasn't anything else here.
Yes.
So it's not just that it wasn't mapped. We were here and we didn't see it, and now we do see it.
Yes.
Okay.
Is anyone up for an adventure?
Do we want to actually follow that first? I mean, volcanoes that way.
Well, I mean, I guess we could do that if you don't want to solve this incredible mystery in front of us.
It was more about protocol, Lodi. So we've if you forgot the entire military handbook already, you kind of need to establish your bases, and that would be on island. You would investigate the outside perimeter before you actually investigate the inside perimeter. It's pretty standard.
Okay, Mom.
Military academy. I honestly do not know. I really don't know. You came from a family that's got you kind. My understanding is your family's got a lot of money, which is great. And I thought you all went to school for that.
I mean, technically, yes, I was enrolled.
Should we try to find the rest of our stuff from our rooms? Wait, which part of the...
Well, that's kind of the investigating the perimeter thing. We should probably finish investigating here, and then
were the cabins in this part of the ship or the rest of it?
The bunk area where you had stayed is not accounted for. It just kind of digging through the wreckage, Kendall was able to find this kind of like a chunk of the core, the central mast, and it just kind of dumb luck.
So
was able to find it.
My out of character. My question is, so the bunk areas are not accounted for and that we cannot find them. Is there any trace of them, as though they were just completely destroyed and we don't know, they're just in the sea, or are they actually completely gone, in which case they probably wrecked somewhere else?
So what the night kind of, your memory of it is fuzzy because of the way that things happened, right?
Yeah.
And so, but what you saw, and from the shape of the wreckage that you hit, the central mast where it met the deck in the middle is where the point of origination for the destructive force that ripped the ship apart. It seems to have blown it apart. So anything that was underneath or directly under would have probably been obliterated.
So we're aware of that there was a disruptive force that ripped the ship apart. The ship apart.
You're looking at
some people. Some people washed ashore from it, and it was a giant storm, and then we kind of got blasted onto the shore.
There was an explosion. You were aware of an explosion, absolutely.
Okay, there was an explosion, right? I just didn't remember because it's been a couple weeks, but cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so the explosion probably obliterated our bugs, is what you're saying.
Most likely.
We can't know for
Good
sure,
chance.
but yeah, okay.
If you want, is there something that you would like to look for? I'd be happy to see if you
Floating
want to
in the
roll an
shrapnel.
investigation check. You can see what you can find.
Yeah, I mean,
Yay. All right. So you're about 1,000 feet into this thick jungle tangle. The footprints that you were following seem to fade into this mess in front of you.
Are we following them?
Yeah,
If you follow them all the way, they go about 1,000 yards to the south-southeast. You know,
I'm
the
probably
volcano is to your east, and the pillar of smoke is roughly along that trajectory, but the trail that you're following is faded.
and they go inside the brush.
Yep.
Okay. And okay, I don't know.
There's got to be checks, but yes.
Right. Do you think we'd even be able to make it through there? I mean, if it was a shapeshifter, then well, maybe they, I don't know, became a bird or something, got really small. We can't do those things.
The trail does seem to disappear.
I don't really want to. It just looks like we'd get really scratched up, you know? It just looks very unpleasant.
They do appear to be heading towards that column of smoke. So, good estimation that if we follow that, either it was also headed towards the column of smoke, or maybe it was the cause of the column of smoke.
Okay. So we follow the smoke. Could we get there on the beach?
You could.
Maybe we should take the boat, the dinghy. Would that be faster?
Long as I don't have to row.
Still by the boats because I did not follow any tracks. I stayed on the shore.
Oh yeah, I would have to row, wouldn't I? That doesn't sound very fun. So maybe walking along the beach is the best choice.
And if Elon had pushed, like, Odd is not going to push. He doesn't have a very strong will. So if Elon had pushed for the volcano route, he would have acquiesced pretty quickly.
Elon is on the shore watching you two, just waiting to see. Are they gonna do it? Oh, they're gonna try to hop. They're gonna try to go through the brush. They ain't even got weapons. They got a sword. They got nothing for bushwhacking. It's gonna be real interesting. I give it about like 20 minutes before they start screaming for help. Yeah, something like that. Or we could just walk across the shore. She's just watching, kind of smugly, like, oh, are they gonna do it?
I mean, Karis did just suggest that.
And Kendall will say, I am very concerned about what caused the disruption earlier, and I would like very much to see if this, the appearance of this island has anything to do with it.
Yeah, well, I'm with you on that one, Kendall, but that's why I said protocol. Yeah, you have to investigate the perimeter. I don't even know if this entire island is actually an island. What if the back half over there is actually attached to something and we don't know?
What if the explosion was the island suddenly appearing and where the ship already was, and so because we were on water, we would have been on the land, you know what I mean? And if the island appeared and then they would be together, and then maybe that's why we thought there was an explosion, because the ship separated into multiple pieces by the land beneath it.
This is an exceptional theory.
You like it?
I think it is wonderfully researched.
But I didn't do any research.
Yes. But it is wunderbar. I am very much fan.
Is that sarcasm? Not sure.
Does that help you with your mystery, Elon?
It's not about mystery. I don't have a mystery. I mean, all right. So I get your theory. That's a theory. I'm just saying again. I House of Aerith investigation. We kind of still don't know what's on the perimeter of this island.
All right then, practical
Did any of you go? What did you like? What didn't you come from a prominent family too, Karis? Actually, did you go through training? Just curious, because Audrey said that they were enrolled. Were you enrolled?
I had training.
Okay, so Audie was enrolled. You had training.
I trained for a long time.
Yeah. Yes, this makes sense. Okay, just curious. Just curious.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Practical Patty.
We take a beachside stroll?
Yeah, how do you suggest fleecing this island then?
Well, like I said before, you got to walk around the outside. We could go through the boat, but I suspect, our friend Karis here has probably already realized that would mean that they have to row. They probably don't want to do that, so you're gonna have to move your 2 legs and walk.
All right,
around.
lead the way.
Also, if whatever that was went through the woods, it's not really a forest, is it? The jungle, doing the whole hokey pokey with whatever it wanted to be. My suspicion is that it's probably not feeling that great and might have had the same experience you did. It might have gone back out at some point because it's not really safe to go through a jungle without materials to deal with the jungle. But it's an island. It's really not going to take us that long. If you're that worried, I mean, maybe a day or 2 to go around, because that's what you're supposed to do. What was your position in your house? Actually, I'm so curious.
We have returned to this. Yes, let us go. Let us walk and accuse people of being poorly trained. Yes.
Well, it's not poor training. It's that I don't know what you were trained in at all. Actually, I'm not from your house, am I, Kendall?
That is true. This is true. We were Odd and I were classmates at one point.
You were not trained for I am supposing reconnaissance. Yeah, that's not what you do.
Not in the way that you might do it. No.
That's all right. Yeah, I'm just very curious because I've not worked with a bunch of people who just. This seems like second nature to me. It's not to you.
We are so much here to learn.
And that's the point of why I'm asking questions.
Well, I do think while we're keeping an eye out, or while we're walking around, we should definitely keep an eye out for that fella.
Or footprints in general. The shore should be very good at showing if anybody walks across it.
So as you start to move along, about 1,000 feet in, about 1,000 yards along the beach, you see a pair of kind of standard boot prints pick up.
Yeah, see, sand always shows the truth.
And
like,
they start.
Nowhere?
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Okay.
Yep.
Like in the middle, or like near the jungle, or like near the water.
Yeah, is there like boat marks or drag marks?
No, straight up the middle.
That
so
is suspicious to me.
So you see, and so as you walk, you do think it is going to take you longer. Maybe if you hacked it straight through the grove, it would have taken you just 2 or 3 hours. But walking the complete way around, you're surely gonna get there, but it's gonna take 2 or 3 times the amount of time.
As we're walking along, at one point, Karis suddenly very quickly turns her head towards the water, and you hear a splash, and she kind of looks down at herself and starts walking over, and leans down and picks up her dagger and just kind of walks back over. I thought I saw a fish over there, and I guess I'm not as good at hunting fish with my knife as I thought. Anyway.
Are you hungry?
Well, we just ate. Not really.
Just felt like fishing. Do you need a break?
No, we can keep going.
Did you see what kind of fish it was? I've kind of been trying to scout the area just to get a good general idea of the population around here.
It looked like a small one.
Okay. Any other defining features? Could you describe it to me? I could do a quick sketch.
It had fins, and it was a little shiny, so maybe it had scales.
Scales, fins, good, good.
Yeah, it looked like a kind of a silvery, greenish, bluish, reddish color.
2 dorsal fins or 1?
What's a dorsal fin?
And did you see striation in the tail fins, or?
You know what? Have you ever fished before?
Catch and release only for research.
With your hands?
No.
Just curious.
Okay.
You are a very curious person, Elan. It is a remarkable thing about you.
Yeah, well, you know, there's just us here, Kendall, and not going to start talking to the trees at least for another 3 days.
If you find a peace with the nature or with kindred, I would be equally happy for you.
All right, fishing. Okay, well, I'll put that in the notes that Karis apparently wants to learn how to spear fish.
No, it's fine. I mean, well, maybe it's not the worst idea. Could we regular fish?
We can certainly do that. Just acknowledging that you're new interested in this said hobby. Maybe the
new interest in this hobby. We're stranded on an island. What else are we going to do once our food runs out?
I was expecting island fever to set in after a few days, but some people, it just happens faster, and you just really want to fish. You just really
has a good point. Hobbies are important when you are in a stranded situation. You've got to keep your mind sharp.
And apparently also your knife if you didn't actually catch that fish.
Was it the knife or was it the main situation?
Well, yeah, you apparently tried to. That's what you said.
I did.
Stabby.
I definitely did.
I might be able to teach you how to do it with a crossbow. If you're nice to me.
A crossbow does seem like a more effective way to do that.
It's a little similar to spearfishing. I'm going to be talking while we're walking, by the way.
Yeah.
Is it similar?
I don't know.
So yeah, so you've walked about 3 or 4 hours at this point.
Don't you think a fishing pole would be a good solution?
Could probably do it that way. Yeah, I'd probably do it that way for sure. If you don't want to try spearing. Anybody see any more of those footprints, by the way? Maybe flying. The one that disappeared out of nowhere.
They've started to, as the tide, sort of as the night is coming and the tide is coming in, like they're starting to become more and more sparse, but they seem to just make their way along, just kind of right up the middle of the beach.
So they must have come out of the water when it was at a higher tide, and that's why the footprints appeared right in the center.
Could be, yeah. So that's actually good for us to know, though. Since this place is not familiar to any of us, your observation is great because that tells us that there's a tide that actually comes in or out.
I like to think of myself as very observant.
Yeah, I mean, you noticed a fish in the water from quite far away.
And so you'll keep walking. The sun starts to set in the west as the a familiar sight of the oranges bouncing off of the brilliant blue seawater in this tropical part of the atoll kind of greets your eyes once again, and as nightfall starts to come.
Question for Alia. You do know how to assemble a tent, I assume?
Yes, of course. By myself, even.
Wonderful. Great. Take it away. We've got some supplies in these explorer packs. There's some tents. Feel free. Go ahead, start. If we're hungry, I would be glad to start rigging us up some poles. I got my tinkers. I can tinker around with some poles. And yeah, go ahead, set up the tent. Go for it.
I think we do still have some of the meat from that lizard as well, which I will offer up as our dinner.
Oh, did you want to also? I imagine you know how to do a fire. Yeah.
Definitely do know that. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Perfect.
Kendall.
Yeah, go for it. Kendall, Karis?
Kendall, can't you use magic to start a fire?
This is possible. Give me 1 second to consult here.
Karis is kind of like looking at the map that was in the emergency pack.
Yes, I can start a small campfire should need be.
Yeah, we got to cook that fish. We got to cook the meat. I think Audie and Karis are going to set up some tents.
Well, we don't have to cook all of the fish.
No, you got to cook some of it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if you want to leave some of it prepared in a way that I've only seen in the East, go for it.
So, tell me about what setting up camp looks like. So you're sort of walking along this beach. There's this thick matted jungle behind you. How are you approaching setting up camp?
Well, Elin is definitely watching all her friends because of her strong suspicion that none of them willingly joined the military.
Why would you think that? That's crazy. Odd has never been allowed to actually take part in camp setup due to a few incidentals that had occurred in the beginning of his brief exploring internship. So in theory, he's watched it happen a bunch of times and he knows how to do it, but he's never actually been allowed. So he's approaching it in the kind of way that someone who's seen something done a bunch of times but never actually gotten to touch it. There's a lot of
Karis has set up tents before, but not the ones in the emergency pack specifically. So, and now she hasn't done it a lot, so she's struggling a little. I like to think that she and Odyssey are both secretly trying to cheat off each other.
Each other out of the corner of their eyes that neither of them knows. Definitely, absolutely, that is happening.
I'm just assembling fishing poles because I got Tinker's proficiency, and then side-eyeing, just waiting to see if any of them asks for help.
Candles slowly and methodically will construct his tent and slowly, bit by bit, clipping this there and this there. But that is what happens. So if you want, so as far as camp placement, I'm going to have it be a group survival check to see kind of if it's set up front. Survival?
Should we all roll?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Group survival check.
Nice.
Survival score.
All right.
My score is...
my result is 3.
20. Dirty 20. This is 3.
3, 20, 3, 20, 6,
14.
and 14.
My
14
character,
is literally my highest stat.
My character is very somewhat prideful or confident in some way or another about things like being observant and knowing how to set things up, like a tent. And I also have negative perception and negative survival. So
I'm happy to be alive and just discovering things about the people I was assigned to this mission with. This is gonna be great.
All right, cool. So you settle down for a night's rest as you see the pillar of black smoke kind of starting to thin a bit as you think probably as the last bits of light catch it as the night starts to settle. Let me do. Wonderful. So as you go through, who's doing first watch?
I don't care. I'll do first watch.
Okay, make a perception check for me.
And I haven't had my rest yet since I'm doing first. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I do not have to roll at disadvantage. All right. Perception. 21.
Okay. You see 3 large figures moving, attempting to move quietly in the thick matted jungle. They're large, shadowed, and humanoid looking.
Okay. I'm gonna try and quietly wake up my compatriots and shush them and alert them to the situation.
Okay. Make a stealth check.
Hmm. 11.
Okay. Good to know. So you quietly wake up your party members, and what do?
You guys, there's someone in the bushes over there. There's someone in the bush. There's someone in the bushes. Yeah, like 3 guys, and they're big.
How big?
I don't know, like really big.
Do I know how big they are?
About 10 feet tall.
Like really big, like 10 feet tall.
I'm going to look out, what would you describe? Like the crack in the tent without actually touching the flap. Just like one eye. And I'm going to take a look, perception check.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna look and see if I see them also, but with less.
Okay, make a group perception check.
All right. I'll smack anybody's hands if they try to touch the door flap. That's
We're
enough.
on different tents, right? That's why we had
Yep.
to set up different tents.
Natural 20 for 24 total.
14.
7.
So the 20.
Did someone say salmon?
So the 20.
Yeah, I rolled a salmon.
You see the shape of 3 monstrous, like muscled creatures in the shadow. They seem to have kind of a thick hide armor on, but you can't make out many other details. They don't look familiar to you.
I just like turn to Odie. They're not guys. They're sort of actually monstrous in size. And they're wearing very large hide-like armor.
I just reach out and put my hand on Elon, and I'm like,
Even monsters are guys.
That's not the point!
How do you know Linda? I don't understand how you can tell from so far away.
I've got really good eyes. It's kind of like how you saw the shiny fish in the water from really far away just because of the glint of the sun on its scales.
So what gender are they?
I'm not trying to assume
I don't think that's important.
That's presumptuous from as far away.
You
They're just monstrous.
hear
entities.
rustling in the bushes.
But you said they're
would
not
never.
guys.
Because it's not good to presume someone's chosen gender, Karis.
The rustling grows louder.
Why'd you say they're
And your
not guys?
footsteps.
Sugary camp!
We can ask them their pronouns after we figure out how we're going to handle this situation, okay? The subversive messaging is strong. All right, everybody quiet.
And as this goes on, a large sword collapses the tent that Kendall is in. Roll for initiative.
So I'm guessing none of us are stealthed then?
No.
Lovely.
I'm just going to drag you onto a map so that we can just have something to look at. I'm just going to drag you back to the other one.
You
I
want
swear,
to show
nobody
the viewers at home? That's a good angle
Let's do
to use.
this theater of the mind. Why not?
Okay, we can still use it for ourselves. I can
Yeah.
just show this.
Okay, let me bring
My theater of the mind the hell
this
out of
back
this.
up here.
Every time you say that, I want to go, theater of the mind.
Every encounter is theater
Yep,
of the mind
exactly.
for people listening to this without video.
That's
Well,
true.
for anybody who's like looking at their character sheet, I'm fine not looking at the map because Foundry does not make that easy to do at the same time.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out where you are.
Shout out to the 3 people listening to this without video. You are the real ones.
You are the realist among
The
us.
row. The really row.
Yeah, just the three of you.
I'm going to choose, just to get this out of the way now while we're I'm going to choose to make my unlock shroud visible
Okay.
I mean, I just
in
rolled
hopes of intimidation.
natural 20s 2 times in a row, and now I'm very concerned about that.
Damn!
And I'm like, oh no, are they getting wasted? I don't know. But my initiative is a natural 20 and then a 25 total.
Oh, it is
Yeah,
a waste
mine-
for initiative.
My initiative is also a 25.
17.
Like, what the hell? Am I wasting my good rolls? I don't know. I'm nervous.
All right.
I've got nerves in my bones.
My dice
Alright,
have been rolling
Karis.
really well.
Initiative.
Hey, what are we looking at?
Initiative.
Oh,
You just
25.
saw the sword drop down onto the tent that Kindle's in.
Odd.
17.
25.
Elon.
25.
Who has higher dex between you and Karis?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
I
Karis, confident.
I have 18 dex.
30. What was that?
I said I have 18 dex.
I have 16.
Alright,
So
cool.
it's
So
gonna be
Karis goes first. Begin combat. Here we go. Karis, you're first up. So you see this Kendall's tents collapse as these large, giant creatures in thick hide armor collapse the tent down around Kendall. As he, what is happening?
What is happening? And it did not hit them. Is what you're saying? We don't hear screams.
It collapsed the tent. You don't hear screams of pain. It's screams of surprise.
Good.
Okay. All right. So Kendall's over there with the giants kind of surrounded. As soon as the sword drops onto Kendall's tent, you see Karis's head jump and her eyes widen, her pupils get kind of big, and she just stares at the giants for a moment before darting off vaguely in their direction. I am going to so the first thing that happens is when we roll initiative, I can give somebody advantage on their first thing, and I'm going to give that to Kendall, and we can also do the flavor for that in a sec. And because I want Kendall to not die, ideally. And then I am going to use bonus action to this. It's time. It's the big reveal. I'm going to use bonus action to rage. I don't know.
Stars, I do declare.
Yeah, so I'm going to use my bonus action to enter a barbarian rage, but I'm not actually angry. I'm just zooming, and we can explain more about that why in the future. But as far as you know, I'm just kind of zooming around and having a time of my life.
And you owe it all to us.
I am. That is a little bit feral, but I admire the energy.
Look at her go! What a firecracker!
I'm hoping wherever that is going towards where Kendall is. She just went. Oh god, she's going right. No, the other way. Oh, she's making circles. Oh god, I don't know what's happening. Why are you zooming? Oh god, Kendall is over there. What is going on? I'm gonna start shooting. Don't zoom me in front of the. Oh god. All right, just keep going.
So yeah, I mean. There might be a day at some point where my character gets used to this happening, but that's not today. So I'm gonna start running around over where the giants are, and just generally I'm gonna be underfoot, trying to distract them from Kendall the best I can, while I can't kind of stop my urge to be darting around everywhere. So yeah, theater of the mind wise, I'm going over there, and I'm gonna run around. And if you would like to make some opportunity attacks, now's your chance.
You're gonna try to run by all of them?
Maybe just the two that are really close to whichever one's sword. But yeah, I'm gonna run around. A couple of them probably get the chance to take a swipe at me as I go.
Oh god. Why?
Okay, one is
And
a
they have
14.
disadvantage. They have disadvantage on these.
Okay. The first one, 14.
That's a miss.
Second one is 11.
That's a miss.
So as these long swords, as you're getting closer, these bear striking resemblance to the shattered long swords that you see in the cave, that you saw in the cave. And so they come down, wham, and then you see again they come down, wham, and you see Karis is just diving between legs.
One of the giants.
I think they're giants.
I'm not talking about them.
One of the giants takes a big swing and like stumbles while trying to hit me. So make a dex save. I think double check that.
I'm talking about Karis.
Nat 20. All right. Well, they do not fall prone. What does happen?
They're
What?
doing an ability.
So nothing happens from my ability. But if you would like something to happen from the nat 20, you can.
Oh,
yeah,
no, they see you try to like wrap, kind of like wrapping your tail around their legs, and they kind of like brush you slightly to the side, like with their foot. They'll just kind of like the gentle cat maneuvering that you need to do.
Yeah. Okay. So, this is like the way to execute this mechanically is to do electric slide again. I just want to make clear that like I don't have the actions to like go into their space, and I also don't want to get Kendall hurt. So I have to like go around and distract them from the other side. So there is going to be electricity where I'm going, but not enough that like they have to enter it to get to Kendall, because if I went in between, Kendall would probably get hurt as well. But maybe in between like one of them and Kendall and like everybody else, right? But not the other two.
Okay. You're able to kind of draw like a little zigzag around Kendall.
Cool.
Kind of like that.
Okay. So yeah, Karis zooms around very shockingly and inadvertently gets the attention of the attackers. None of them, get too screwed up by it, but they're now paying attention to something other than Kendall, who's struggling, and also there's electricity on the floor. That's my turn.
Next up, Aelan.
Slightly confused by the sudden zoomies, and going to just bust out the crossbows and hope that Karis does not, in their turn, somehow simultaneously run across the field of one of my bolts, because I cannot control that. And I will shoot twice at the one that just dropped their sword directly onto the tent, and then for the other two, are they close to that person? Are they?
They're about 5 feet away.
So I will shoot one into the one that dropped the sword, and then the one immediately closest to him. So I'll hit 2 targets. And
okay.
Try to at least.
Cool.
That's the attempt. And then we are at we're regular distance, right? Yeah. So
yeah, you're fine.
What is happening? Let me open my rolls so I can see my dice. Maybe. Don't feel like it. What is happening? Okay, there we go. I just had to reopen it. All right, so I don't think I have any bonuses or anything from anything that Karis is doing, right? There's nothing I need to worry about there.
Right.
Okay, so this is gonna be normal, and then do you see the roll? Oh, there it is. Sorry, it's delayed on my side. So that's 14 to hit.
Miss
on the first one. Okay, and then a second one is. Why is it delayed? Is it showing it for you already? Can you see the roll? I don't see it. Try again. Attack again. Just click the button again. There it goes. 15.
15 misses.
All right. Miss.
So these kind of bury into the hide armor that these guys are wearing, and they pull the bolts out and bellow at you.
That's not a good sign. That is not a good sign. It's not a good sign.
Next up is who?
Odd.
Odd to see.
Okay.
I don't think it's that odd to see. This is out of character. Karis would not make that joke, but I had to.
Okay. Sorry, I was trying to do the measuring thing. I think I should be good here.
It's. I think this encounter is a little
off.
A little more loosey goosey.
Little loosey goosey. If it's a question of 5 feet.
No, it's a question of 30 feet. Am I within 30 feet of all three of them right now? According to the measuring thing, I am, but it's hard to say.
You could be, even if you aren't currently.
Okay, so I am going to cast Bane on all three of them.
All right, and what are they making?
Remind me, I haven't played a caster that doesn't have cantrips in a while. Can I use 2 first level spell slots in the same turn? No, okay, that's what I thought. All right, so then, yeah, just Bane.
What am I rolling?
Give me one sec here. Let me pull my shit up. Charisma.
Ho ho ho! You got him. 15, 8, and 11.
Okay. Where is my save DC? Oh, here we go. So the 11 and the 8, both, whenever you make an attack roll or a saving throw, you have to roll a d4 and subtract that from your roll for the rest of the battle.
I love that we collectively don't have a lot of ways that we can actually
classes.
We don't have a lot of ways that can actually like things that can hurt these enemies. They have pretty high AC, and that's kind of our only way mostly. Yeah. But we're doing a great job of not dying, of just kind of making them worse at what they're doing, and that's all we can do right now.
Any bonus action?
No, I don't think I have anything that I can do.
All right, cool. So the first ambusher is the one that let's see. It's the only one is the one that saved. So let's see. Are they smart? They are not smart enough. They step forward into the lightning to take a swing at Karis. What save?
Con
what
save.
Do?
Which they're big, so they probably have good constitution.
Yeah. Oh, they got a nat 19, so they save.
Okay, great.
Okay. And then they're gonna swing out at Karis. And you hear this grumbling and this in a language that may or may not seem familiar to you. What languages do you speak?
I don't speak giant, but somebody does. Elin does.
I do.
Okay, so that'll be a 20 to a 22 to hit.
It's gonna hit.
And that'll be 6 damage as the sword comes down on you.
Yeah, you see Karis zoom over somewhere and then kind of turn and quickly look left and right, and while distracted figuring out the next direction to zoom, gets caught by a sword on a part of her very much not well protected body.
Oh dear. She's not okay.
You see her slowly or briefly kind of her eyes kind of close and open again, but a little less intensely zooming for a second before it kind of goes back to the previous state.
Okay. Oh, I have to roll a minus D4 on that. Does a 14 hit?
Nope.
You odd?
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Sorry, 13.
13. Yes, it does hit me.
Oh, wait, I don't. That's right. I only take. Wait, so is this? I'm assuming this is slashing damage.
This is slashing damage. Yep. So you would take half.
Mm-hmm.
So you take 4 as this giant sees this lightning come down, and as it claps around his friend that came in front of him, he hauls off and whips a javelin at you. And it seems to only graze your shoulder. This final one, having seen you shot two bits at it, will step up to the tent or wherever Elin is crouching and will swing its sword. Does a 7? 7 does not hit. Okay.
Also, sorry, Molly. Did I take damage from that javelin?
You did. You took 4 damage.
4. Perfect. Thank you.
I am tucking and rolling.
Okay, and so Kendall, seeing all of the things that are going on, will cast may kindred be with us. Yes. Why are there no?
For what it is worth.
What is occurring here? Oh, that's what's going on. He's not dead.
He's dead.
Kendall does have an advantage for the first thing that he does if it's this turn.
Okay. And it'll fade.
It'll fade. It can fade if you want. I've wasted it before.
He will reach out and say, you collapse my tent, you son of a bitch. I will collapse you. And the hand that typically reaches out of the earth reaches out at the giant attacking. I just keep dropping my dice on the ground, and oh my god. And it will hit, and what is the damage for chill touch? As this ghostly grip wraps around it, and it will be 7 damage that it deals to the nearest ambusher. All right, cool. And Kendall will step away from the others and will save himself, tucking himself into the bramble. Top of the order, Karis.
Okay, so Kendall is tucking is tucked, and then the other two. That's not what I meant. And then the other two giants are like, one of them is on each of our friends, basically. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, I guess there's still one near me. But yeah, Karis is going to once again feel like it's time to be zooming and dash toward the giant that is near Elin. So if you want to, the giant that she was standing next to probably needs an opportunity attack.
That'll be a 17 hit. Or wait, I have to roll the d4. Oh no, that was the one that saved.
No,
yeah,
it does get disadvantage.
Yep.
Okay, 17 hits.
17. All right. All right. That'll be 6 damage.
Okay.
As the sword comes down on you.
There are costs to having zoomies. Karis gets nicked on her way and stumbles, but continues to zoom over. I'm gonna use electric slide again, which I feel like I should briefly explain is a dance flare that leaves a trail of electricity wherever I go. And when I'm using a dance flare, enemies get disadvantage when they try to opportunity attack me. Once again, I'm going to try to, since Elin, as described earlier, ducked and rolled, I'm going to try to interpose myself in between this giant and the one that is, this giant and Elin. And once I do that, I am going to start zooming towards, I guess maybe towards Odd, but maybe ending my turn. Yeah, you know what I'll do? I'll kind of just go in a circle around this giant and then head back out of the way towards Odd.
Okay, cool. Next up is Elin. You have ducked and rolled out of the way.
I feel like Elin does not have to be as close to this battle as she is right now. So when Karis interposes, she's going to start backing up, probably take her full movement speed backward. Boom! And then shoot, because she really does not have to be that close to the battle at all. and they are very, very hefty people. So, and then she's going to try to shoot again. When she takes her full movement backwards. I'm going to do the hand crossbows again before I try to switch to the heavy. See what happens. See if that does anything for us. I'm going to pop up the screen, maybe. Yeah, there we go. 23 on the first, and then
which one are you attacking?
I'm going to still shoot the one that's still closest to my friend's, prone form. Not prone, you know what I mean. They're there. So I'm going to try to keep going for that one that's like very close to them. And then the second one, I'll probably just aim for the same one because muscle memory, I know where it was from before. So I'll do it again. And then I will shoot at the second one real quick just to get that roll out of the way. Maybe if it should let me. Is it shooting anything? Do I need to close this first? Do I need standard roll? Attack. What is happening? Everything's freezing.
I think you need to roll damage.
No, it's stuck on the.
Oh, okay.
It was stuck on the screen.
The first one hits.
Okay, first one hits, and then I think the second one does not hit.
Yep.
So we'll do the first one. Yeah, I was just getting stuck on the damn pop-up for some reason. And we'll say normal. 6 damage.
Okay.
First hit. I will hold my action surge for now.
It is looking bloodied. The one that everyone has been hitting is looking bloodied.
I guess I could take my action surge then. See if it does anything.
Okay.
If it will let me open my actions. Why are you hating me, Foundry? You just will not let me open this. Okay, there we go. Action surge. So I think I can just use the hand crossbow, right?
Yep.
It's not a specific one. Okay. So we're just gonna try that again then. And then shoot again. Attack. Normal. It doesn't hit. It's a miss.
It'll miss. All right, Odd, you're up.
Okay. Hey. Okay. I am going to sorry, I'm going to use my action to cast Hex on the topmost giant.
Question
So the giant
is, I think Bane is concentration, right?
Oh, I think it is. Sorry, Foundry's.
No, I just want to.
Mine is going quickly, so I can try to look at things for people. I don't know where this. Oh, spellbook.
Bane is concentration. So, would you want to drop concentration on Bane?
Oh, poop.
And so is Hex.
Where does it say in Foundry?
It says that if you click on the spell in the spell book on the bottom where it says first level VSM concentration 1 action.
Oh, I see it. Yep. Okay. Then no, I will leave okay, cool. So no, I will leave Bane. Instead I will move up.
I see. So you can use a different spell if it's not concentration.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm gonna move up here and use.
So you're moving up to the giant that had ran over to you before. This one hasn't been hurt yet, and it hurt you a little bit earlier when it threw a javelin at you.
A javelin at me, yeah. So I'm gonna cast Inflict Wounds, which is not a concentration.
Okay, cool.
I will be at a disadvantage because it's my first attack roll, and because of my shroud, which is a bummer because I rolled a nat 20. Sad. Okay, so I'm gonna re-roll that though using my luck.
Okay.
It's called. Sorry, I can give you the actual name of the thing. Which I did much better. Okay. So, does a 17 hit?
Yes, AC 16.
Okay, great.
Just like me.
Then let's see here. 1, 2,
Just like me for real, bestie.
so 7. Okay, 18.
18 damage.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
It's a
This
big
thing,
boy.
as you
God,
reach
input
out,
does so much damage.
it is not low key at all. So this thing leapfrogs its friend completely as the most injured looking thing on this shoreline.
Throw a javelin at me.
So you after having had this javelin nick Odd's shoulder, he darts forward, rolls, and brings this smoke that is enshrouding him forward into the shape of this giant, and the smoke comes out, and as it pours across the body of this giant, it seems to burn and scorch the flesh of this giant, and it howls in pain into the night.
And then after, just to finish my turn real quick, after that attack, I am going to choose to remove the shroud, so I will no longer be disadvantaged.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have to do one thing with the shroud on, and then after that, I can choose to turn it on or off every time I do an attack roll, or like a con or strength or something.
So it's going to be off. Wicked. All right, cool. So, Howling and Rage, the first one will strike down at you. And miss. And so kind of with like as its flesh is being desiccated by the smoke pouring off of your body as it sort of shifts itself away from you like a rapidly moving fog. It tries to bring down its sword, but you are able to dive between its legs before it makes contact. The next will step over to Karis. No, they'll go for you. This one is not baned. Is a 18 will hit.
Yes.
And that is a 10 damage.
Oof.
As you kind of dive between its friend's legs, you are met there with a slash that kind of cuts you across the chest. Next up, the last one is surrounded by lightning, and it'll look at Karis and howl, and then it will whip a javelin at you, but it will miss, and
right.
That is the end of their turns. Und Kendall, being the good elven boy that he is, will look at his spell book and he will use.
He has a lot of spells.
Yes, he has many. And seeing that his friend found so much connection with the inflict wound spell, will run over and lay on hands onto the ambusher, and will cast inflict wounds himself.
Oh, is he gonna flank that one on the other side of Odd?
Yep. So he's gonna attack with advantage.
The fact that they both have inflict wounds is absolutely clutch for my character from a mechanical perspective. It makes the enemies falling prone actually very useful.
Great.
And on hit, it does 3d10 damage.
So much. 3d10 damage is so much.
Okay, that is nearly 20 damage. So this one, as the smoke roils around this from burning the flesh, this dark sand pours out of Kendall's hand and starts to crush it down, and this giant kind of falls into the earth in a pool of black obsidian dust. As a bonus action, Kendall will say, I think that you have maybe made a mistake. You do not want to be attacking us in this moment, yes?
I would say it's a giant mistake.
This is good, yeah.
Okay. Cool. I don't know why I said that. That's okay. I like the giant mistake situation.
That is how Odd laughs. Very false.
What would you like to do, Caris?
It's my turn?
Yes.
Okay,
To the top
so
of the order.
there's one giant who threw a javelin at me because it was surrounded by electricity, and then there's the other one who Elin hit before, and who is now like over by where Odd and Kendall are, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, so I'm going to attack. I'm going to start zooming. So first thing I do is zoom all the way back around Kendall and Odd, and then to the giant. Not close enough to this giant that it can reach me with its sword, but close enough that I can slash out at it with my ribbon. So I will attack. I will flank this giant with Odyssey. Is that good? Okay. Wow. That's okay. 17.
Hits.
Great. My ribbon slashes around their arm and then comes back out. So I think it only does, not a ton. All right, and it does 7 damage.
Wonderful.
So maybe it's pretty
Wunderbar.
good.
They appear to be on their last leg. Anything that you would like to do with your bonus action?
I would like to, as I'm zooming away, like toss my dagger behind me at it. Not like actually, just like kind of, because you can attack with your bonus action, right? And just not.
If you make your first attack with a light weapon.
Yeah, which I think a whip is. No? Okay. Well, in that case, then I will not use my bonus action. I will just run off, and my plan is to just zoom around the second giant who's currently very angry at me.
Actually, yeah, make the bonus attack because the way that we changed it, I forgot. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yep.
My attack is 15, which does not hit.
Miss. Yeah.
Yep. So the dagger flies off and
it lands nicely in the wood of you're not at the ship.
No,
it lands nicely in a tree nearby.
In a tree nearby. That's why it made that sound. I'm going to run over to this giant and start zooming around it, making it angry, and put myself into position that if Odyssey or if Kendall wants to come over and take advantage of its distraction later, they can.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right. Next up is Elon.
Shooty.
Bang bang.
I could start breaking out into a song, but there might have to be some like copyright issues with that or something.
Every time Karis does the zooms, I just want to be like, zoom, 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 zoom.
Okay.
Second one hits, I think. Yeah.
16 hits?
Yeah. Wait, you see a 16? Oh my goodness! What? You 16?
I see a 23.
I see a 23.
Yep.
Oh, right.
See a 12 and a 23.
Okay. Yes, so one of them hits. That's what you see? All right. I was like, wait, do you see a different number than I see? What is happening? 4.
4 damage?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. All right, so
I would have backed up again my full movement speed, so I don't need to be that close.
You're whittling this down. I'm going to put you 60 feet in the air, just so I remember. Okay. Elin, the flying. All right, so you're
bolted into the air.
So you're going to be, if you back up any further, you're going to incur disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm only going to go to as far as Elin innately feels they can shoot well.
Okay, then that will be 30 feet.
All right.
Because they hand crossbow.
It's all theater of the mind, innate, but there's mechanics.
Yep. All right, cool. So, Odd, you have this Goliath that has this these crossbow bolts buried in it. It has taken a good lashing from a wonderfully flamboyant ribbon.
I'm gonna shank him. Does he have?
Thanks for playing.
Yeah. So I will attack him with my dagger.
Okay,
And I
you
do
have
have
advantage.
advantage. He is flanked, so that's going to be 15 to hit. You said 15 is the AC?
16 AC.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't hit.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Nope.
All right, cool. So the Goliath, feeling this whip wrap around its arm, will turn around with its other arm and will swing out at you for a 16 at Karis.
The injured one or the new one?
The injured one.
Okay, 16. It hits. That's my AC.
Okay, that's another.
Is he one of the baned ones?
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So that's another 10.
Right.
Another 10 damage. But half because raging. And this other one will run forward, and having seen its friend turned into ash by Kendall, will swing out at him. 17. I don't think that hits Kendall. Whoa, yes it does. Okay. That's not great. That's 11 damage. That's most of Kendall's life force. And you see Kendall is mortally wounded. As the sword kind of drives directly into his guts. And as he reels from that, he'll take the disengage action and move, kind of dive forward towards the beachhead, running and casting healing word on himself. For 6. So they're back
still
up.
Seem pretty injured.
To 9. Yeah, he's bloodied, but he's better than he was. Okay. And that will be the end of his turn. Karis, top of the order.
All right. I'm going to use the Dance Flare staying power, which will involve zooming first. But at the end of my movement, once I have zoomed, once I have zoom, everyone within 10 feet of me is going to get to spend any number of hit dice to regain health points. So I am going to... so currently there's a giant that just attacked me, and then there's one that just attacked Kendall before Kendall dove away. So I'm going to zoom in kind of like a figure 8, ducking and dodging, and then eventually move away from both giants toward Kendall. And so they can get opportunity attacks on that.
Oh, that's an at 20.
Okay.
Oh no.
8. 10.
That's too many
18
numbers.
Plus 2 is 20. 20 damage.
Okay.
20 slashing.
So, yeah, that's enough to knock me out. I think maybe that it would be fun if I am performing this dance and then so have you attacked from the other giant yet, or do you want to? Will they still get their attack or whatever?
If you're going down on the first one, no.
Okay, then in that case, I go down by the first one. And so does my thing still go off is the question, because I used it before I started moving, but
yeah. So I think who would get it is that Odd would get it.
Yeah,
I
so
used
I won't be able to heal Kendall.
I did it.
Great. Okay, so I won't be able to heal Kendall. You see Karis zoom around chaotically, and did you give them disadvantage on these attacks?
No.
Okay, sorry, I should have said that.
So the first one actually misses.
That's good news. Okay, so we zoom around.
And the second one misses.
Great. Zoomies are safe once again. Okay, so I zoom around in a figure 8. You see Karis ducking and dodging chaotically in a way that you've never seen. Still in a way that seems kind of graceful, but in a really like weird and unpredictable way. Performing a new dance and jumping over to be like in between Odd and Kendall, so we can all heal and spend hit dice. We roll the dice. We roll our own hit dice that we spend, and then we get that much, and also plus your Constitution modifier. Yeah. So,
So he's looking almost as good as he was before.
Yeah, I was almost dead, and now I'm completely back to full health. So that was awesome. Thank you.
Yes, and I will also heal myself.
Cool.
And after that, I'm done.
Elin, you're up.
All right. So I'm wondering. I'm going to probably start shouting at these things because I speak giant. Before I take my next shot, maybe.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you clarify now that we're actually very much able to see them well? They're wearing fur hides. Do they look like they don't belong in a tropical climate?
Yeah, they look way out of place.
They're definitely not supposed to be here. Do they look to Elin, who I assume because she speaks giant probably knows a little bit about giant, like they're from a certain region of the world that she could like identify and be like, that is definitely not this region of the world.
You would
like,
reckon,
where they're from.
Like you sort of have an understanding that frost giants is you would have gone around the south part of the world. Like you would have had like maybe a tense day as you rode past parts of Tirargid, which is the land of silver in the south. And so you would have had some tense days where you would have kind of like passed nearby these humongous ships. And while these don't look to be like the full size folks that you saw maybe on those ships as you sort of held your breath and watched them go by, the armor is reminiscent of that.
And when we were going around the island, did we see other ships that looked, in her recollection, like they could have been of a make from a winter landscape?
Today?
Yeah. If we saw any shrapnel,
you haven't seen anything yet. This is
okay.
You're just sort of walking along. You see this pillar of smoke, and these things just kind of pop out of the woods at you.
So I am going to have Elin shout out something akin to it. You seem a long way from Tirargid. That place. Need help finding your way home? Hold up the crossbows, and we'll shoot only one.
All right, take your shot.
Yeah.
We got our gunslinger.
Good to see what.
You're really making the guns linger.
So the one shot hits in the. I'm only going to do one on purpose because I'm curious what they're going to say, if anything. 7.
All right, cool. So you knock the other giantling over cold, and there's sort of this one that's left standing there, and he'll say, and he'll spit back at you, and he'll say, "Where Hrija orders us, we will walk. To hell, to Hadmurs, where Hrija tells us, we will walk." And his eyes sort of focus on you, and they burn bright with this like white hot fire. And he will start walking towards you slowly, and will haul off a javelin while he's walking at you. Oh wait, it's not his turn. So that one's dead. All right. Next up is Odd.
All right. Okay. I am just going to dance back a little bit and shoot him.
Dance back.
You can't steal Karis's move. Not in the middle of a fight.
I'm
Rude.
sorry. I'm going to clumsily
No, that's exciting.
stumble up this incline on the deck, scrambling backwards
On the
desperately.
beach.
And then
Wait, we're on the beach. Remember, this is a placeholder map.
but we're not here. I see. Okay. I was like, no, I am on the deck, guy. Okay. I'm gonna shoot him with my crossbow. 18 does hit.
That's
Great. 5 damage.
all right. Cool. So the first bolt finds Purchase as he's sort of sputtering in a language that you're not familiar with, and hissing at Elon.
Okay.
Next up is the Goliath, and as the Goliath steps forward, anything else you want to do? Bonus action? Anything?
No, that's okay.
Okay, so as this giant steps forward, he's kind of tossing a javelin in his hand. He pulls it out from behind him, dropping his longsword, and says, "This is what insolent elves will get," and hauls off a javelin shot at you.
At Odd?
At Elon.
Ian.
So that'll be, and he's baned.
Yes.
Okay, so he's probably gonna miss. It was the nat 16. 13 doesn't hit, right?
I would not be upset. Yeah, it misses. So he says insolent, and Elan's just like, "What? Who you calling insolent?"
One of those shots.
Our
did
march. The dragons could not stop our march, and the ethereal isles will fare no better.
Transitioning to English in this crossfire real quick. I am like, they march for Urja?
Well, where's that?
Frost giants!
I imagine
So
we probably.
Now
From my
Elan's very much
perspective-
like, what is going on?
Elon is just kind of yelling in the giant language at this other giant, and just so we have no idea what she's saying.
Well, I said that part in common.
Yeah,
in
she
English.
told that to us.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
The Frost
And-
giants, and then she's gonna be screaming as I'm like, what the heck? They're pissed off at the elves! Ugh.
And so that they will. Kendall will reach out with Chill Touch again, and unfortunately will miss. No bonus action available, so that'll be the end of that turn. This claw, I need to practice with it. It is not very good at this moment, yeah. And next up is Karis.
Okay. Karis zooms over towards Elon and then immediately stops and turns around and zooms over towards the remaining giant.
So Elon is about 30 feet away from the giant. So he's
I just said towards, like just in that
towards.
direction. I don't need to be near Elon.
Okay.
I'm just adding flavor.
Okay.
Zooms towards Elon and then turns around and goes right back the way that she came. This time with a slight angle so that she's running towards the remaining giant. And then she's just going to attack with whip.
Right.
Zooming around.
Pew, pew, pew.
So I rolled a 25. So
Hits.
I hit. And I know that I could be more prepared than this. I do 5 damage.
Cool.
And okay. I'm satisfied with that. I'm just gonna kind of go near this giant so that if they want to attack somebody else, they have to like get opportunity attacked.
Okay. Cool.
Zooming around their legs, like distracting them and making them angry.
All right, Elon, you're up.
Now also just like, okay, there's just so much going on right now. Zoomy, Okay.
That's what
Now
I
I'm going to bust out both my crossbows again and shoot back while sassing, because we're now in a sass battle. He's talking about the Ethereal Isles, and you can't stand to get to. Well, you're walking alone now, aren't you? Until I shoot that damned knee. I'm going to aim both of them at the knees.
You squash it with that sass, you Sasquatch.
Yeah, that's why they call her an assassin.
She's more.
What's the sass and assassin?
I always thought it
What
was
an
because of the
icon.
ass.
Confused, just more confused than anything. Just like, what the hell is going on right now? I don't understand. The second one will hit. I think that's a nat. That's a nat 20.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's
Yes, it is.
damage. Critical hit. It says an 8.
So,
Shot him in the knee.
Right in the knee. You
Right in
said
the
you were
knee.
aiming, and then you got 20 back.
so that's
Still
actually
going
gonna.
all alone. I'll take out your damned knee.
So that's gonna
If
be
he ever
a.
survives, one
That's
day he'll
gonna-
be in a tavern and he'll be like, "Oh, I took a crossbow to the knee."
It's gonna be a 13. So it's gonna have 4 health left because the crits are not set up the way that I typically run them.
All right.
So he's down to. He's really so past bloody. This shot really catches him kind of as he shifts. You're able to line up a shot close to a fleshy point in his chest, and that you drill the bolt straight into it. Odd, you're up.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep going for a little crossbow. So that's what we got going on right now. And I did not hit, but I have missed since I last used my luck ability, so I'm going to use it again, and I will miss a second time. Excellent.
And so this giant kind of as these 2 crossbow bolts knock like little pieces of hair up from behind. We'll look at Karis and we'll attempt to we'll do a shove attack on you. Make a strength check.
Is it
Or
athletics?
athletics check.
Or can I contest that with acrobatics, or is that a different thing?
Think shove is strength.
Okay.
Straight up. So that was a 12 plus 2.
If a player makes a shove, then the target does have the option to do athletics or acrobatics.
Okay.
In PHP, but it doesn't. You don't.
All
have
right.
to
So let's do that. Yeah.
Okay. So then my result is 14.
All right. So that's a match. So then I guess we'll just re-roll it.
Okay.
Nat 1.
Ooh, exciting. I got not a nat 1. I got a 13.
So he pulls out his longsword and just tries to drive you to the ground as he attempts to walk straight towards Elin, and he sees you kind of dip out of the way and says, "As the dragons bled, so shall you, so shall the elves, and so shall the Jinn." And he draws and he turns and he brings his sword back up, trying to prepare for anything that might come his way.
Okay.
Kendall, you're up. Kendall is me.
Hold on. Wait. When he misses, I am going to use my ability Follow a Reverse, which I can use with my reaction when somebody misses me with a melee attack. And you have to make a dex save. If you fail, he falls prone.
He falls prone.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So-
to be clear, is not ideal for all the crossbowing we're doing, but you know what? I think it's really fun that I'm
That's
darting
true.
around underfoot. And he
It
tries
doesn't hurt me.
It's
I can
working.
still
You're
shoot
tripping
those-
him up.
Seeing this
Yeah.
happen, you'll see Kendall come forward and with this frozen hand, gripping with this obsidian black sand wrapped around his hand, he will bring down his club on the back of this giant's head and it will and break its neck, and
Nice.
we will exit initiative.
Yeah, sick. The zoomies prevail.
Woo!
All hail the zoomies!
All hail the zoomies.
That was so fun. I haven't got to actually play this character like the way that I designed it until like just now. This is the first combat that we've done since I've like got the level of barbarian and I'm like very difficult to kill and hit and stuff, and also can do things that are relevant in combat. And so I was really fun. I'm just so happy that this is a good time because it was kind of a risky
Yay.
design. But the zoomies win.
I love it. Good news.
So yay! So you return to your tents. Kendall sort of has to mend some things with his tent after it was so rudely collapsed.
Yeah, I can handle that for you.
Okay. So with your help, they're sort of able to get things together, and you are able to kind of sleep peacefully through the night and benefit from a long rest.
Excellent.
When you wake up the next morning, everything seems to be as it is. As you look, there are these strangely dressed giantlings strewn about the beach.
Oh.
The three of them that you had tangled with the night before.
Yeah, I'll explain to you all. I'm supposing the night before everybody was just like, tomorrow, we'll sleep for now. Yeah, they're I'm pretty sure they're frost giants.
What did it say to me right at the end when it was like pointing at me and monologuing? What did it say?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. It's much the same that he was talking about earlier to me. He's going off about how the elves are going to fall like the dragons fell. Talking about how they're following Herdja, I think is what they called it. Their god. Wherever Herdja tells them to walk, they will walk. Which is interesting because we're on an island. We don't know how they walked here. Suspicious. But yeah, they're talking about the Ethereal Isles. Almost like vengeance a little bit.
I wonder if they were here before the island appeared, or if they came the same way we did.
I have very much. I have studied all of the religions. I have studied the wheel, I have studied the jinn, I have studied the gods of the giants, and I have never heard of Herdja. This is not a god I know of.
It's not familiar to me. I did also find it strange. They talked about the dragons couldn't stop them. Weren't like it monologuing, as Kara says, about how nothing can stop them. Blah, the dragons couldn't stop us. The elves won't stop us. As though the elves have wronged them in some way. They're very angry and talk about the Ethereal Isles. And I don't know. I was quite confused because I didn't recognize it. They're actually a little bit smaller than the frost giants I was thinking they are. Mildly. Can be difficult to tell. And the time that we sailed through there, it's not like I went and talked to them. You don't go hang out with myself for very long, It's pretty tense. But I'm not sure. Like I said, wherever Herdja tells them to walk, they'll walk. And how are you going to walk from wherever they came from here, right? So it's a little bit strange. I do not know, to your point, if they came here at the same time we did. They just seem to have purpose, and they don't like elves. So they definitely either were watching us somewhere on the island, or they knew we were here. I don't know how.
Don't like elves specifically?
They were definitely saying they hated elves and their tone. Yeah. But how would they have known that we were elves unless they saw us earlier? We were all inside tents.
And there's the mystery of all of the frost giant paraphernalia we found in that cave as well.
Correct. So they've definitely got an idea that we're here. Something's watching us, or one of your little friends, Tupi or whatever, probably told them about us, something like that. But they had to know we were there, and they definitely don't like us, so it would explain why they attacked us in our sleep.
I don't think Tubble spoke Giantish.
It doesn't mean they don't know other languages.
Just from our brief conversation. So I think they may have been following us.
Or they could have tortured him. That's not to be morbid. This is what we call a hostile situation. All possibilities must be explored.
That's true. That's true. I do hate to think of Tubble in such a perilous situation.
It's just odd to me. They definitely
monkey.
targeted us. Definitely targeted us. And it's very, this makes me uneasy that not even Kendall knows the name of that god. Or whatever it is. Maybe it's not a god. I don't know.
Can we search the giant bodies?
Yeah, make an investigation check. If you want to do it as a group, we can do a group investigation.
During this conversation, Karis is very quiet and seems just sort of introspective or standoffish, and isn't really participating. So she's mostly kind of sitting with herself.
Odd is looking for useful things, but also for signs that they're out of place on these giants, like anything to indicate that they're from another plane or that they've traveled, any kind of unusual items. Let's see. Investigation, I assume?
Yep.
20, dirty 20.
A dirty 20. So you're able to locate, by digging through all three bodies, you're able to locate 20 gold pieces.
Okay.
You're able to, all that there is a giant here is weird. That this island is here is weird. Another thing that's strange is that, kind of people who would have studied or the understanding of giants, they wouldn't carry around a dagger. They tend to prefer large weapons, and they have some kind of ceremonial dagger on their hilt, on their belts.
I'm gonna take one of the ceremonial daggers with us.
Okay.
And I will also, Odd is very fair-minded, so I will distribute the gold, so we each get 5.
Okay.
It looked like gold that we can actually use on a plane where we exist.
Yes.
Interesting. All right, so they use the same currency.
I mean, it's of a giant mint, but it's still a measure of gold.
It's current though. It's current.
We recognize it if we went to giant lands and we'd be like, yeah, that's giant currency.
Just roll it out like
it's
a time
gold
travel
coin.
Situation.
It's a gold coin. It's got weird It's got a weird stamp on it, but nothing you wouldn't. It's nothing that's super strange. I mean, it's got a giant and Norse symbology on it, but nothing that's arresting.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know. It's definitely not ideal that at least one race, I suppose, on this island is a bunch of elf haters. Yeah.
Well, Safety Dan, what do you think? Should we continue with this beach search? Looking at you,
how far did we get when we started?
You
have we actually
now seeing kind of in the light of day, you think you're maybe a 10 or 15 minute walk from starting to break eye shot on whatever the pillar of smoke, which has really started to trickle down to a very small plume.
I think we've actually only got a small walk from making a full perimeter search, actually. So about eye shot in about 15 minutes before we started.
You wouldn't think it would be unreasonable that a scouting party might have caught you last night as they were on regular patrol.
What's interesting, though, too, even if it was a scouting party, like I said, none of them, from what I saw, have feet that match the beach tracks that we saw the other day.
Mystery boots, indeed.
So something could have been tracking us from the mystery boots. Something could have been tracking us by them. But I think that we've got the perimeter, and we did not see any major openings or whatnot. But we do know that the giants came from us about there. My suggestion, Audie, would be to go back to where you saw them first and see if we can track back through where they came from, because they're so big. They probably did a pretty good job of making a little bit of an opening in the jungle for us.
Sound reasoning. Let's approach with caution, just in case they're the cause of the pillar of black smoke.
Yes, I love the way you're thinking.
So,
but that's my suggestion.
So as you kind of go back through and you follow the path that the giants left, you will you'll eventually reach a rough rock face that you would be able to kind of scramble up, and you can see the evidence of as the jungle sort of clears, it sort of seems like it's been intentionally beaten back, and you will come up to the so as you look down over the ruins of the city, the buildings, the first thing that catches your eye is the black smoke pouring upwards from this kind of centralized conflagration. From your angle, you see collapsed homes, smithies, religious centers, farms, and a market in cinders. You see kind of puddles of thick green liquid running through the streets. The seaside gate is completely shattered, while the other gates seem to hang loosely open. At this near the center of town, by a collapsed smithy, there's a small camp set up, and on the outskirts of the camp, you see some bamboo cages organized in a row. You see down near the dock, you see groups of much larger giants, like full-sized, grown-up giants, and some of these smaller giants moving what appears to be lots of gold and like rare jewels and other items onto these 3 ships that sit out in the harbor, that are clearly of the same giant build. And kind of patrolling the ruins of the city, you see different patrols of dogs and other hounds, making the area safe. But yeah, and so you see aside from these 3 large ships that sit out there, you see kind of some really heavily destroyed ships sitting in the harbor, as though, you know, whoever once lived here their navy got scuttled. You look around, and the size of the buildings is just a little bit bigger than what you would have expected on the Ethereal Isles, a little bit bigger than what Nelf would, but is not the correct size for giants or anything.
I just like push some heads down a little bit lower in the brush when I notice what's down there, like, and then just like kind of absently starts grabbing like leaves and shrubbery and starts rubbing themselves with it as they're talking. So yeah, you might want to just make yourself smell a little bit more jungly. Those breeds down there on all 4s are probably really good at sniffing things out, and I'm guessing from our now late friends, they are probably good at sniffing out elves. So might want to dirty yourselves up a little bit. Can anybody get a good look at what's in those cages, though?
And
I will roll for that if we need to.
And so as this happens, as you're sort of having this conversation, you hear, you see one of the large storm giants down by the port sound a large horn, as this kind of trickle of treasure and jewels seems to be slowing. And you look, and there's a path that leads up to the top of the volcano that sits at the center of the island that seems to be recently heavily rutted with tracks of these carts coming down from the top. And as you hear this last horn from deep in the jungle, you hear a horn in response from down in the bay, but from the storm giants loading onto the ships. And you feel another one of these pulses move through the weave.
I feel
And-
nothing. I'm just
And
wiping.
so you will feel, and
Like
so
simultaneously as the horn is blown, or
just after.
okay.
So you hear this boom, boom, and that's
Do I
and it'll
actually
pick
feel
up.
it this time?
No.
Okay.
It's all,
I'm just gonna keep rubbing then.
It moves
Rubbing,
through
rubbing,
the.
rubbing.
It moves through the weave, and you see Kendall kind of shake with it, and you'll feel this a lot more this time. Odd, you'll feel, because as your connection with your curse in the weave, and you'll feel it kind of ripple as the smoke kind of dissipates, and it flickers to something else. It turns from a smoke into like tufts of cotton candy or something else. So, it turns into water vapor or something, and then flickers back to smoke. And that's where we'll pick up next time.